In the last episode, Johan started the engine overhaul by disassembling the engine and lapping the valves. So while we're waiting for a few parts that we ordered from Sweden to the engine, we're gonna redo the installation of the engine compartment and gonna try to make it more silent. Because the engine, it is pretty noisy down here and also up in the upper cockpit when we are running the engine. So it will be super nice if we can make it a little bit more silent. This is a car sound deadening mat. And this is what will go first, that we'll put first against the walls. So it's kind of a rubber that sits here with glue on this side that you just put glue straight away to the walls. And then we have this kind of more foamy stuff that is protected for the heat. So is this that we'll put on top of this. Every day starts by removing the pantry that sits on top of the engine and put it on the table. The pantry is too big to be moved outside of the salon, so we just have to move it back and forth every day. Working on boats is a real love and hate story. This project was quicker than most, and it was quite satisfying to see the new shiny insulation in place.
The base for the pantry, which is separating the engine compartment from above, broke in the last episode. Instead of repairing the old base, we decided to start fresh and make a new one. On top of the butyl mat, we put 20mm thick hard foam insulation. And then another layer of butyl mat on top of that. So I'm cleaning the parts for the engine, getting them ready to get painted, and so we can assemble the engine again. And while doing that, I found another quite major problem with the engine. This is the heat exchanger for the turbo, the oil to water heat exchanger. And as you can see, this has been really clogged with seaweed. So I can't imagine that this has been working at all, really. And then there's another problem, which is even more problematic. Look at this. The housing here is made out of aluminium, and it's totally corroded. This is brass, I think, and aluminum here. So I guess there has been some galvanic corrosion or something, because the aluminium here is totally gone. So yeah, and a new one of these, if you order it from Volvo Penta, is $1,600, and I don't want to spend that kind of money on this quite old engine. So we have to come up with another solution. So I'll try to see if I can remove all of this bad stuff around here and see if it's still, sealed from the oil that comes in here. exits here. If not, we'll need to find another heat exchanger. Yeah, this is unfixable. The aluminium here is just totally corroded, and you can even see the copper pipes are exposed here. And we've been having a small oil leak on the engine, and I suppose this is where it's been coming from. I don't think it's really possible to fix this, not in a way that I would trust it anymore in the future. So we'll need to find a universal solution, try to find a oil to water heat exchanger online, and reroute these pipes with oil, and also the pipes for the water, to some universal heat exchanger. So I just hope I can find one that is reasonably priced. A good thing with this is that I think that this is probably what's been causing the problem when we've been using the engine at high RPM. Like when we went through the Panama Canal, we had some problems maintaining really high speed because it has been really clogged here with seaweed, and I guess this heat exchanger has probably not been off the engine since it was new in '87. The other heat exchanger for the water, the coolant in the engine and the raw water intake, that was perfectly fine inside. So that's why I couldn't really figure out why the engine would overheat. But I think it's because of this. Because if this clogs the pressure after raw water intake, it will affect the whole system. Because not enough raw water can flow through the engine. So probably when we change this, that will solve that problem too. The oil leak, and that we can really run the engine at full RPM for longer time. I'm cleaning the heat exchanger, but of course 2 of the bolts sheared off. I think they're corroded because they sit in the aluminium here, and they're steel bolts, so of course there's some corrosion. And when I tried to take them off, they sheared off. So now I have to drill 2 of them out. And I think I'm going to use a bolt that goes through, and a nut on the other side. There's always these obstacles when you do a job like this. Small things that turns out to be a bigger job than the thing you set out to do in the beginning. But that's how it is with old stuff when you try to fix it. In the last episode, we told you that we ordered engine parts and special tools from a local Volvo Penta dealer. But when they never get back to us, we decided to order them from Sweden instead. Which turned out to be half the price and faster too, since they had everything in stock. So the other day we got some parts that we have ordered from Sweden to the cylinder head. New sleeves and O-rings for the sleeves, and to remove the sleeves you need a special tool, and also to install the new sleeves you need special tools for that as well. We ordered these parts like a week ago. Unfortunately, there seems to be a typo in the workshop manual from Volvo Penta, because you need 3 tools to remove, 1 tool to remove the old sleeves, and two different tools to install the new sleeves. One of the article numbers in Volvo Penta's workshop manual was wrong. They had switched 2 numbers around, and there's 2 different numbers for the same tool in this workshop manual, which is really annoying. Of course, I took the wrong one by mistake. I didn't know there was a typo. So now one of the tools that we received is the wrong tool. So I have the tool to remove the old sleeves, but I don't have both the tools I need to install the sleeves. super annoying. So now we have paid for a tool that we don't need. I don't know what it's for. And we have ordered the correct tool. But we have to wait another week to get it, and also pay twice the amount of shipping. It's the flaring tool here. There should be 4823, the last digits in the article number, but inside the manual, where I've been reading on this, here's the how to remove the removal tool for the sleeves, and then you have this one, like a mandrel, I think it's called in English, to the first to install the new sleeves, and then this is the tool we're missing. It's what do you call it? Like a flange tool that you need to expand the sleeve when it's sitting in there, so it's so you get a nice seal. So this one is what we have to wait another week for. And the article number here is 884283. We just have to wait. I have other stuff I can do in the meantime while we're waiting for this tool. So I will start with just removing the old sleeves and install the new ones, and then I just have to flare them when we get the flaring tool. So here is the removal tool that you need to remove the old sleeves. They sit very tight in the cylinder. And at first I thought I could do this without this tool. And I tried on one sleeve, and I guess you can drill them out, but I didn't want to do that, so I ordered a tool. And then you use this mandrel to get the new sleeve installed. And then there's the third tool to expand the sleeve when it's in there. So this is the sleeve that we had a blow-by on. Maybe some of you remember we had some problems in Panama in the San Blas. We had a blow-by between the sleeve. We had a blow-by between the sleeve and the injector. The injector sits in the sleeve like this, and there were compression gases coming up between those. Not very good. And you can really see inside here that the copper is gone in one area, so yeah, it's time to change this. And also, when I removed the injectors in the two other sleeves here, the sleeves moved. So, and if they do that, the recommendation is to change them. So the risk you're taking if you're not changing these, and when they have moved, is that you can get coolant down into the cylinder, because there's coolant running just next to these sleeves to cool the injectors down. And if you don't have a tight seal down here, you will get coolant running into the cylinders. So that's why these are really important, that you get a nice installation. Yeah, they sit pretty tight. It's pretty crazy that you need to buy these special tool. I mean, of course, Volvo Penta wants you to use their shops and have you pay for this, but I mean, this tool is $50, and I can't imagine that the job to remove these 3 sleeves would have been less than $50. So it's still worth buying the tool, but yeah, you only use it once. After removing the sleeves, I had a look at the sealing surfaces to see if there was any corrosion that could compromise a good seal for the new installation. It's really important to get these holes really cleaned up before you install the new sleeves. And here you can also see the O-ring that you're going to replace. A lot of times when working on the boat, you find the perfect tool outside the toolbox, like a metal skewer from the galley and a dental excavator from the dental kit.
Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed part 2 of our engine overhaul. If you want to support our videos, please take a look at our Patreon page or PayPal site. Stay tuned for the last episode in our engine service series.